tell them what's the next few Ponchveteran events so that we'll. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, very, very warm welcome to you. And I hope you're all doing well and fine and keeping yourselves safe. One of the way we could bring you the online program is to make sure you log in, watch some inspiring program so that your mind is away from so many news, what you keep seeing in the television. Now, before we have an outstanding, inspiring event talk on success story, let me briefly tell you 2-3 events which is happening under the Ponchveteran, otherwise in MMA during the month of May. That is on the tomorrow, the 1st of May. We have a event on career success, balancing work and family. We have Asha Gopalakrishnan, is Vice President, Finance, Beauty and Personal Care, Unilever South Asia. She'll be talking to us. And we have a special invitation, Mr. Ravi Shankar, CEO of Connect2, and also sharing the session will be our own Mr. Balraman, past President of MMA, former MD of Ponch. Then on Friday the 7th, again, interesting event on China, strategic patience, how India can rise to China challenge. We have some 4 outstanding panelists. Ganesh Natarajan, Gautam Bombewala is the former Indian ambassador to China and Pakistan. Ajit Keshav Nanade is the head of Chief Economist of Aditya Birla Group, and Professor Ajay Shah is a research professor of business, Jindal Global University. This is again an inspiring evening. We know all about China, how you are going to insulate yourself, and how you are going to face the challenge. Will be an interesting event. Then on the 12th, not to be missed, again telling you not to be missed, event on 12th under our startup series, Zerodha, No Impediment. That is a journey into the fabulous success story of Indian foremost fintech company, financial tech company. We have Nitin Kamath, founder CEO of Zerodha, will be talking to us, and he will be in conversation with Mr. Shankar, founder CAMS, director of ACYS Investment Limited. Zerodha is one of the most popular company, and I think you must listen to another inspiring story which are turned out to be 1,300 crore turnover as on today, and over 500 million customers. Wednesday the 19th, 5 million customers. On Wednesday the 19th, discussion on the theme of the book we have. Then we have a number of other events lined up for the month of May and June. You'll watch them, and I won't take you further without further ado. Let's move on to today's event, success story outdoors. Then we have an outstanding speaker today who is from the common woman to the corner office. It's an inspiring story where Mr. Balraman explained to us. We really want to inspire our women, not only women, most of our men, that you have a passion. Sky is the limit for you. And today we have a talk by one of the outstanding speakers, great achievers, Srividhya Ganesh. Before I request Srividhya Ganesh to share a success story, let me briefly introduce Mr. Balraman as well as Srividhya Ganesh. Mr. Balraman, you all know Mr. Balraman from IIM Ahmedabad, former managing director of Ponch India Limited, and also former export director of Hindustan Lever. And he was also chairman of CAMS, one of the popular company in again financial tech. Chairman of Footwear Design Development Institute. Currently, the director on the board of Delphi TVS and India Nippon Electrical Limited, and also past president of MMA for the last 2 years. Been a great mentor, supporter, advisor to MMA. One of the way we turned around last 1 year is on the constant advice of Mr. Balraman, how to really benchmark ourselves to be a global organization, which is our endeavor to do that. Thank you, Mr. Balraman. And let me have the privilege of introducing the distinguished speaker for this evening. Ms. Srividhya Ganesh is a director and CEO of Advanced Bolting Solutions Private Limited. Started career as assistant, accounts assistant in a confectionery company, Paris, in 1988. Worked for their subsidiary companies. In 1999, joined the leading Bright Steel manufacturing company as executive assistant to executive director. 2006, she joined Usha Martin, and where she really turned around and supplied to the lot of major companies, including TVS, Rane, Hyundai. And in the year 2009-10, she joined ABS, which is still currently working as the head of the South Zone, and got graduated into the board. Took responsibility of Office of India and Middle East. Recently brought completely new dimension to ABS Group through a new startup ventures into solar energy as developers of EPC contractors, intending to contribute our bit to the clean energy towards decreasing the carbon footprint. Here is the very, very inspiring story where Mr. Balraman will introduce the speaker and the content. Over to Mr. Balraman to introduce the speaker. And the thought behind we are organizing this event this evening to request Mr. Srividhya Ganesh to share our success story. Mr. Balraman.
Thank you, Group Captain. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Women Business Forum is an endeavor by Madras Management Association to inspire a very large number of Indian women to come into business careers. If India were to compete with China, the border clashes with China brought this into focus. In the year 2000, both India and China were struggling, but they had 40% of the population below poverty line. By the year 2020, China has only 5% of their population below poverty line, whereas India still has the same 40%. China has grown to be a $13 trillion economy, whereas India continues at $2.7 trillion. So how will India ever catch up with China? The only way India can do, India is a democracy, where we do not have the Chinese method of pushing people to do anything that they do not want to do. The only way we can do that is to inspire our people. So we looked at the fact in our population, 600 million are women. How can India grow without tapping into the intellectual genius of this section of our society? In China, most women are in the employment stream or in the business stream. That is not so in India. More and more women, it's true, are coming into business, and they are becoming Supreme Court judges, they are becoming Air Force pilots and so on. But still, the very vast majority of Indian women are working in home, for the home, and they are not working for the country. We know now it's easier for a woman than a man to get into a startup, a small scale business, because there is someone at home earning. So the home fire will be burning. So it's less of a risk for the woman to do something related to the home. And the woman also has the homemaker has a lot of time. So with this idea, you see, the only problem with Indian women are that they have been stereotyped for many generations into being homemakers. So they hesitate to come out. Can I do it? Can I manage the home? And can I also manage my career? That is a question that hangs very heavy in their minds. So our idea is to bring and showcase people like Miss Srividhya, so that others get inspired. Yes, if she can do it, maybe I too have a chance. Why can't I do what Srividhya has done? Now, when they listen to Srividhya, they will understand that it has not been an easy journey for her. That she has been a fighter. She has questioned her status of homemaker. Why should I be only a homemaker? Why can't I do something more with my life? And that has not been easy, but she had not given up. She had stuck to her goals. She had an ambition, and she worked for it. She made several sacrifices for it, but today she has a lot to show for it. So it is to recognize people like Srividhya, to say, lady, you are doing very well. Keep doing more. India needs a lot more from you. And it is also to say to others, look at Ms. Ganesh. If she can do it, why should you not do it? Why can't you do it? So that is the purpose for which we have brought Srividhya Ganesh. Hers is a story of very hard work, very strong determination, never giving up, being innovative, taking many risks, and sacrificing a lot of her personal time. So that is why I thought we should bring her and make her talk to all of us so that we will learn something of value. So, Miss Ganesh, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for the great acknowledgements you have given to me. I feel I should keep this in my mind to keep working to be deserving of all these things. And coming from you is something I had been looking forward to for a long time. So thank you so much for that. Thanks to Madras Management Association for giving me this opportunity to share my views or my stories. so that it can also bring in as an influential part for some of the people who are listening to me today to take some cues out of this and try to make their own with their individualistic ideas put into it. So with that note, I start up the presentation of today. Can I open up my presentation?
Yeah. Yes, please. Share screen. Shankar, screen share, please. You can share your screen.
And I can do it now.
Got it. Yes, slideshow. Yeah, got it. But
yeah. So this was the topic which was discussed to be shared, the success story of myself. So I have put in a few ingredients which helped me to reach out to whatever I am today and whatever I could do in my career path. So I've just opened up the points, and while the points are running through, I'll be sharing my stories blended with that. So the first to start with, before even saying something, there is something called molding your character. So if you want to, if any personalities, whomever I have come across, I have seen that their early days also matters a lot. How they have molded themselves or formed their character during their initial days of their life. So that can be influences in your family, that can be influences outside your family. You catch up many things which affects you or which registers in your mind as a very strong point in your life, and that molds your character. And this is what is going to be the basis for what you are going to do in the later part of the life. So that way, if I see myself looking back, what were those influential jargons or influential phrases which had been so close to my heart, I just put forth certain things here. So the first one is, the heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. See, my grandfather used to keep on saying this. He was an English professor. He used to keep on saying this. As a child, I was not knowing the depth of the meaning of it, but I know that the only thing which I can understand out of this is you cannot achieve your goal on a single day. It's a long process. You have to work for it. You cannot just take a fruit from the tree. You have to do a lot of things to take the fruit from the tree. This is what the first learning I got it from my within the family, and certain other things which came into my knowledge base is there are no shortcut to success. Hard work, loyalty, and sincerity will never fail. If you fail, then your process is wrong. So do your process correction. What you sow, only you will reap. Believe in anything more than your sweat isn't yours. It's like grabbing food from somebody else's plate. So these are the core ideologies which has caught up my mind right from my childhood, which was making up my personality altogether. And last but not the least, arise awake and stop not till the goal is reached. And this goal, it keeps changing as you reach one post. You just have the visibility of the next goal, and like that, it keeps taking you ahead to move ahead in the life. This is what is the basic lessons in my early childhood till my career orientation I have got, which molded me in the later part even without my knowledge, which has been the basis for my success. Uh, that is what is the ingredient I just wanted to share before I start up with the points which I wanted to share. So the first part which I would say is I'll just put up two or three points together because all are going to be clubbed up when I'm talking. So self-assessment, knowing about your strength and weakness is one of the very important first ingredient. Like when I was 20, I got married. 21, I was a mother. I don't know what I'm going to do. And at that point in time, I thought that's the end of the road for my working life, and I have to get into my domestic life, which I was very happy only. I had never had a grumble. As a matter of fact, when my father-in-law was asking, I said, I'm very happy to be at home. And I want to, like, in the cinema those days that Savitri or Padmini used to come with very nice decked up housewife, all those things was there in my mind because I was a very innocent person at that time to think of a very beautiful domestic life. But then things are not so easy in the practical life as we see it in the movies. So there are certain demands which later on started dawning in me that this is not the way which is going to take you to, because when you see your child growing, the demands growing, there is a financial necessity also coping up with it. And so how do you manage all these things? So there should be something which you need to contribute and what are you going to do? What role you're going to take up? How are you going to manage things? So that is where I thought, let me identify myself differently. So then I said, now if I want to go for a work, then how do I start? See, uh, in this area, you need to find where is your strength, what you can do, uh, and then get into that. There are choices, but choices are limited. You should know the best suited choice, which will more or less give you a success, criteria. That choice is also very important. So I chose to join a company in Pondicherry Nidhi Limited. I was selected one among the 40 people on the day I got interviewed, but it was a front desk position. I accepted it because I'm coming from a sabbatical. I cannot choose. So I accepted it. But when I went in, that is where I'm going to talk about the taking initiative side. So right from the managing of the counters like BTAR, DSB, fixed deposit counters, special loans, jewel loan sanctioning, and currency chest, lockers, locker operations, cash book management, bank reconciliation. I mean, I didn't leave anything unturned in the company where I have not done any job in that area, and I take the responsibility myself and go and grab those jobs myself and start doing it. And with humility, I put it on record that for consecutively 3 years, I had been awarded the Best Employee of the Year award. So this gave, when you achieve something, when you put in hard work, then the hard work will be paid back. When you get that paid back, then it will also develop your personality to work further, more better than what you're doing. So you will start redefining yourself. So the personality redefining also was happening at that point in time. Hello?
There is some interference.
Yeah. So as I was saying, when there is also a necessity for setting up shorter long-term goals, both. So the shorter goals are really achievable, what you see in the visibility and what you could easily touch it upon. And those are the goals which will make you also positively oriented, make you strong. So then long-term goals should be a little tougher because then only you will really take a leap and try to achieve those goals set in. Perseverance is very important because in between a lot of hurdles will come. It's not easy that you set a goal and okay, at the end of the year you reach it. It doesn't come. It doesn't happen in the reality. A lot of challenges will keep coming. So perseverance to not to give up at any point in time is one of the see the main I don't know whether it is my plus point or a negative side, but in the whole travel of this 30 years, the one thing which I can call close to my heart and what I have been always taking it upon with me is this perseverance. If I start one thing, then I have to end it. Come what may. So that dunia idhar se udhar ho jaye, but I have to finish it. That's how the thing which I have it in my mind. I'll see to it that till the last stone is not turned, I'll not give up. So the giving up is very rare in my case. So that has helped me to achieve my milestones. Creating support system is one of the very important and intellectual part one has to have in their career path. So unless and otherwise you set your support system which is trustworthy and you believe that your system is not going to get hampered. System means I'm talking about on the personal front. So if the personal front, because all whatever we are doing it is for the sake of family at the end of the day. And if the system is taken care, family system is and values are taken care, and you're set with that, then your mind is free to devote to other career-oriented challenges. So the main thing I did was I put up a very strong support system through my family, and that helped me. And not only inside the family, I also create a support system outside the family also. For example, when my daughter was 2.5 years old, I used to put her in creche for some period of time. Then banking hours are up to 2 o'clock. Then I have an arrangement with my superiors that after 2 o'clock I'll go and bring her and keep it with me, and then I'll keep doing the work. My daughter still used to say that continued till the time she finished the college. And I used to keep her even now when she was in college. After finishing her college, I used to take her to my office and I used to keep her beside me and keep working. So she said, I am the only person who has attended more offices than schooling. So that is the support system you create inside your office as well as in your family and outside area where the trust can be developed that your children or child is in the safer hands. Then you will be able to devote your undivided attention on the work. Otherwise, as a mother, it's very, very tough to devote full-fledged attention if the trust is not there on the support system. So that is very important. Selecting a role model or a mentor is very important for achieving. I'm so lucky that throughout the walk of my life, there were very many mentors who has come in the way of my success, and they have taught me very many things right from my Pondicherry days to that of the current period. People they are the people who identified that I have the quality of leadership in me. They have come and told me that you are not a mediocre and you have a special skill. You have to tone it up. So when people from outside come and say that to me, then I started thinking that I have to do something about it. My sister was one of my mentor, I would say. And my reporting officer, reporting manager in my Pondicherry Nidhi Limited, Mr. Swaminathan, was the person who made me study further. So he said that you have to do something further ahead. You can't be a dropout of, I just dropped out of ICAA Group 2 because I got married. So he said, no, you have to do further studies. So then my father-in-law, he was there. He said that you have to further go for a study. So I did pursue MBA, and I could finish MBA because of the persuasion of all these people giving me a thought process like that. So that is very important in life. I'm so lucky that I got it. But one has to look upon and should be ready to listen from elders. Then it becomes easy for us to follow rather than reinventing and doing it all over again. It's easier for somebody pave the way for us, and then we try to take that route and walk ahead. That becomes a little more easier in the challenging route when we have to go. Accepting challenges is one of the very important factor where, see, I would narrate one situation when we were back from Pondicherry to Chennai, and this RK's National I joined at the time of 98, 99. It was an engineering company. I had an opening. Again, there was a 2-year sabbatical when I came back from Pondicherry to Chennai. So when I want to get back into the work, after putting my daughter, everything in place, then it was an engineering firm. At that time, I'm very averse to science. I don't know. My father wanted to take me to study maths, physics, chemistry. I said, no, I can't take, and I want to go into commerce. So that is the way I chose commerce over science. So I had an aversion for science in my school days. I don't know the reason. But then I was put into this company where I had to work for a operations head as an EA. So he was thinking what I would give her the job, because she's not a graduate in science. She can't understand metallurgy. She can't understand mechanical engineering. So what job would I give her? So that is where I accepted this challenge, and I used to stand in the shop floor right from the scale removal of the hot rolled bars to the final end product. I used to see through the product process manufacturing and learned each and everything, and the metallurgical aspect related to it, and the mechanical, and the chemical properties related to the steel making. And I also requested my senior that I would like to, visit a steel mill to see the operation. I got the opportunity. I went to Syscall that time, Salem Iron and Steel Company. Now it is JSW Salem. So they were our suppliers. We got a permission, and I went and I visited and I learned how the steel making is done. So these are the practical experiences. You have to ask for it. So when you take up this challenge, and really the outcome of it is phenomenal, I will tell you. You will be able to. Then I started doing planning in raw material. I started making production planning, machine-wise planning, and quality control. Then that time it was, the ISO systems and process were in thick of action, 99, 2000, and even the tier 2 companies were asked to be full-fledged QMS, accredited companies. And at that point in time, TS 16949 and QS was there in vogue, and I took up the challenge of taking it up as a MR, and I studied the whole process, understood the QMS operations, QMS procedures, wrote all the procedure myself, and we cleared the TUV certification with NIL NC, and that was one thing which I was appreciated for by the company. But it was not very easy because, first of all, the subject is new to me, and taking the team along with you and creating the trust in them when you do something, it's also a big challenge. So you'll have to do a great lot of work to do that. That's what I wanted to share my thought process about the critical the challenges which we have to take up in life. Critical thinking is, evaluate every decision-making process, see it little ahead of. Like I always do the mental SWOT of things right at a little early stage of my life where when something is told to me, I'll think little ahead and say that if this is going to be moved this way, like a chess, like you make a move here and you get to know of the alternate move, and there are multiple alternatives available. And if this alternative is happening, this is what could be happening. If this happens, and this is what could happen. So if you are aware of what are all the pros and cons, which I'll be talking a little later also. So then it becomes easy for decision making purpose, and since I had been doing it from early ages, it came up very easily for me. I was not struggling for it. Listening effectively is one of the important factor. When you are in your team, if you don't listen to your team, then you'll not be able to move ahead. If you as a person want to move ahead, you have to carry your team inside, and you have to be a listener. First listen, collect the inputs, and take the decision. So that is what I used to do. And people then they always develop a trust, not only from the team, even from the customer side, even from your supplier side. The trust is developed only by listening. So when you listen, uh, they it's a psychological factor. Like you develop a trust. That's what that I was doing it. First, I will listen, but I have already framed because I have done the SWOT of it. I know what is the outcome of it, but I will listen. I'll take the input, and then from out of that, if there is something which I have to take, I'll surely take it, and then put up my point of view, and then add up and summarize and make the final decision. That is how I used to go. Just a minute. Effective communication. Effective communication is what which made me grow up higher in the a quick growth came up because of that. Because unless and otherwise you communicate, you are not known to others. So you have to do your job, but you have to also show up you are doing the job. If it is not done, then the growth is retarded. So you have to see that you're communicating it. So that is one thing in the internal side. Externally, I would narrate again one of the incident that my transformation from the back end operations to that of the front end marketing and sales position, which helped me to get into Usha Martin, was mainly because of my communication. Communication in the sense my effectiveness in convincing people. So that is where all of the customers became so friend. The relationship building is because of the effective communication I carry on with the people. So be it Run in Hashtag, be it TVS Group or Delphi or Myco, Miney. So all the people, so when they call up, there is already an answer prepared for them. So that could be possible by understanding their requirements. So there's a lot of preparations which is required. If you want to be communicating effectively, your preparation should be much deeper. If you are not preparing and if you are not having a point to discuss, then you will not be able to effectively communicate. And people will not listen. If you are not communicating to the point, then people will not be listening to you. That is one of the key factors which gave me growth at a faster pace. So these are some of the other factors. Actually, 1 second. The orientation is getting difficult for me.
Can you see your slide?
Yeah, I'm getting a little disturbed. 1 second. Yeah. So motivating others, discipline, process orientation, constant learning. So this discipline part, my people in my office call me Amma, like so like a mother. Sometimes both carrot and stick approach. So discipline is one thing which self also should be there. Like if you are not disciplined, then you will not be able to inculcate discipline of your team. And if your team is disciplined, then the work output of the team is going to be fantabulous. So that is one thing I had always kept in my mind in the path in my journey, and I work towards that. So process orientation, yeah. See, many of the companies in ABS currently, who are like my customers, like GE, Caterpillar, anybody who comes and visits our office, they say, I mean, it's looking like I'm entering into GE. This is what they used to write in the visitor book. So that one thing which I want to say, procedure right from the security check area and the safety briefing and the path in which the visitor has to reach out to the conference room and the manner in which the discussion has to happen. Right from that to that of any purchase procedures, material management procedures, accounting procedures. So there is a lot of thrust on the process orientation in the organization. So audits, all the audits, they used to give us a star rating. Even for that matter, because of the process orientation, we are able to be SME rated one consecutively for the past 5-6 years by CRISIL. And yeah, if you're process oriented, then things appear in front of you when it is deviating from the normal, and then quick actions can be taken. That is one possibility when you are process oriented. Constant learning, every day is a learning. New things are learned every day, and we should be open minded for learning. Learning from juniors, learning from outsiders, learning from insiders, learning within family, outside the family. So that is one of the thing which I've kept in my mind as one of the key factor which I should never lose in my entire life. That's one thing. That constant learning is a key ingredient actually. Micro working, it's a very close to heart subject for me because I'm a little micro working person. I never work in a macro aspect. Like people cannot come and tell me that this is done. I need a data, I need an analysis for that, and I need a review date, I need a monitoring mechanism for that. And every department, whether it is within the department or cross-functional department, there should be an MOM for every meeting and action plans to be set in. Responsibilities should be fixed for the cross-functional teams, and the review mechanism and monitoring mechanisms and the review date has to be finalized, and then the things have to be shared. Then it becomes easy for me to find where the deviations are going and find a solution for it. And same way, we have a continuous reviews, particularly monthly reviews, management review meetings where the data are monitored, be it stock, be it inventory management, be it the cash flow management. So it becomes HR, recruitment and tracking, or the employee turnover, because we have 250 technical staffs. So there is a turnover in that area. So we'll have to manage it closely. So the micro monitoring is very essential in each and every case. So that is one thing which I do meticulously. And reorganizing and redefining and rectifying, rerouting the path when desired results are not shown as per the plan. See, this is applicable very importantly in uncertainties period like current wave. I'll tell you one very interesting incident. 2020 February, I was very enthusiastically making a business plan for 2021. So we made a business plan. We were 50 plus crore, 55 crore plus company. So we made a plan for 100 crores because the solar vertical was new, and we were very bullish about the solar vertical. So and also the incremental growth of the other divisions put together arrived at a very decent plan of 100 crores. And February and March 19th, lockdown was announced, and everything went into a doldrum. Now, at this point in time, we immediately sat and we redefined the whole process, and brought it back to 50 crores. At this point in time, we realized that maintaining the current level of business, if we are able to do this year, that would be the biggest challenge we'll be taking. And so we worked through and through for that. So we redefined, rectified our business plan for the year which was made. And I tell you, on this year, 21 balance sheet, we are closing 57 crores. That is what we planned was achieved. And that is where the planning requires the micro level monitoring, which I said earlier. So when you focus on and when you are reviewing it, when you are monitoring it, it is very easy for you to make course correction at the time when it is required. Otherwise, we could have as well said that okay, plan bana diya, chodo, baad mein dekha jayega. So that's not the way we left it at that. So this helped us to be where we are today. Mental SWOT I talked about. Knowing to delegate is one of the key quality which helped me to grow in my career. I'll tell you one incident in my RK's time. Like I was doing all this, the understanding of different metallurgical aspects. I told about that story earlier. During that period, I need some people in my core team. So at that point in time, this computerization was also happening. So I wanted to bring everything into the system. So I requested for a programmer. So they gave me a programmer. So we brought in .NET platform. And in that, I wanted to make the system analysis and bring the quality, production, and raw material planning into the system-based working. So at this point in time, I got hold of one guy who was sitting in quality department, befriended him. I said, you come to the this system analysis part, and you'll grow from here. So then I built up a team like this, and 4 or 5 people from different departments. And it's a part of learning also. I learned from them, I contributed, and it was a nice journey where we could make the end product, the outcome of bringing a .NET platform based working system for the organization. I'm not knowing a computer based thing, I'm coordinating. But that coordinating and trying to delegate to each one of them each job which they are supposed to do, and collating it and bringing it and a result orientation on the table is what is according to me a managerial skill one should possess to grow. Handling conflicts, again, conflicts inside, outside. It's like a family. So within the company also there will be conflicts between suppliers and us. There will be conflicts. Customers and us there will be conflicts. Conflict management has to be there. I'll tell you one very important story which I can relate to. Suzlon is one one of our key customer. And I would say that ABS owe a lot to Suzlon for its growth. But at one point in time, it so happened that we were growing a very long backstory. We were growing at a pace at that point in time, 2012-13, and our CC limits were very, meager, like 4-5 crores, and Suzlon owed us 3.5 crores, and I didn't have money to even pay off salaries for the next month. And I took up the accounts. I went into Suzlon. I sat up in their office with the CFO, and I was not leaving him till the time each and every bill gets booked into their system and got the money paid within a week's time from there. So otherwise, it would have been a conflicting factor where beyond a certain point of time, they may say it's not done, or I may say it's done. So there's a lot of ambiguities. So when we sit across, we will be able to do a lot of conflict management. So that is one of the thing which I recall to say. A lot of stories are there, but this I can recall to say. Having said all about the pointers, I thought it would be interesting to show some of my photographs where something reminds me to share my the growth phase, how challenging it was, and what were the thing which I had come across, and how it had been resolved, or the incidences which I would like to share a few of the photographs. So this is my first ever outside meeting. It's a very nice thing to share with here, because I was not going out anywhere till that time. This was my first outing where investors, I was giving a detailed discussion on the tool operations and the pump operations, just by taking training from my in-house people. So this was one big milestone in my career, where it was a very successful training event, and Vestas had appreciated a lot for this. This is one of very important milestone for me. This is in Gammon, Bombay. The signature bridge in Delhi was under negotiation at that point in time. So it had 5.5 lakh bolts to be bolted, and this was a deal closing snap where we concluded the deal in our favor, and we did the job. And now the standing signature bridge, I can proudly say, is bolted by ABS. And this was my visit to the site to check out before sending my people out there. This is in Neyveli Lignite Corporation, where there was a challenge for them in the excavator because of the slush. The bolts were getting stuck, and they were not able to remove the teeth so quickly. And so myself and my team guy, we went there and we resolved that issue. And from there, we get a special tender, direct tender approval from NLC for that application. This is one of very important milestone in my life. It's a very interesting story. The gentleman is the vice president of Blooming Mill in JSW Salem from ABS. I'm talking about this. So the date written here is 26/3/2011. On 26th January, he called me and he said, Vidya, Blooming Mill has arrived and the installation has to be done. I've already put the date on the board, 26/3. So I don't know what you're going to do. You have to send the crews and manage it and see that the installation is done. So from that 2 months was a nightmare for me, because many a times, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, the calls will keep coming and we have to resolve it immediately for the tool management of the working. And then we completed the job, and this was the invitation for me for the inauguration of that blooming mill. And that gave me an entry into JSW Bellary. So he recommended to JSW Bellary to have a look on product lines. And this was a very unique thing that in 3 days, I did a 16 presentations in 16 plants inside JSW. So even today, High Torque used to make fun of me saying that the 16 presentation lady is coming. So that's the credit I carry when I visit High Torque head office. So this was a Tufanic presentations continuously, bombarding one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So now another related incident is that when we were sitting in JSW coffee shop, we were trying to chat among ourselves, our team, and trying to take a snap for between us. But then the one American was sitting opposite to us, and he said, "I will help you." So he took the cell phone and he was clicking the shot. Now the friendship started. Now I asked him, where from you are? He said, I'm from Morgan Stanley. Then I said, what are you doing? Then he said, I have come here for the erection of SMS DMAT. Then I said, so do you have any bolting challenge? He said, yes, I have. Then I said, we are the solution provider for that. There, at that point in time, he gave a contact to get in touch with Siemens VI Bombay, and we got in touch with them. And 35 lakh order was signed in this particular coffee shop friendship. So this is one thing. So don't leave any opportunity. Always keep focus on your job. Then you are bound to get a success rate at one point or the other. That luck will favor you everywhere when you are fully focused on the job. When I always think this way, when I walk into a customer place, I will already see the name of the customer, name of my company in the customer purchase order. And then with that confidence only, I'll be negotiating the deal with the customer. So that gives me enormous confidence when I'm talking in negotiation tables. These are some of the trainings which I had undergone about our tool management at different area. This is one of very important area where, Chevron, this is an eye-opener for me. When I was talking about process orientation, working for Chevron gave me a learning how to be process-oriented. We got the opportunity, we got the tender awarded on us. It was in Bangladesh. It was for a greenfield gas plant. The complete bolting system was awarded to us. And at that point in time, we were not very big about process orientation. We don't know much about it. So when they said you send your process modules. So when I sent it, it got outrightly rejected and it came back. Then 3 months, I sat inside my conference room and I was completely in the process of writing these procedures and sending it and getting it accepted by Chevron and Foster Wheeler. So we worked for Foster Wheeler, but the contract was awarded by Chevron. So this was the kickoff meet. We went there, and the acceptance was given to us. So that I felt very happy about the whole journey, because it was a very hard way we got to know about the process orientation. These are again our sales meet trainings at various places where I got the knowledge seeking from many of my people. This is our High Torque team. The main principle we're working for. The transformation as a lady. I just wanted to show this picture because I like this picture, because from how I have transformed into a different personality altogether. That is what I wanted to show. I chose this picture only to show that. And in High Torque, there is a concept called President Club. when you achieve your target and supersede your target, you will be called a member of the President Club. So we had a couple of occasions, I think 3-4 years, we got the opportunity to be part of President Club, but I got the photo op of 2 years, so I shared it here. It's a very prestigious award from the company. So I felt so proud to share it here. This is our Sharjah office, Oman office. So we have reviews on a quarterly basis. So I visit there personally and be part of the team and review them. And see, one thing which I would like to tell here is the gentleman sitting here, he's from ex-Bosch. And there are people from Bosch, there are people from Atlas Copco. They were reporting to me at one point in time and seeking my sharing of knowledge, which gave me an enormous strength also as a woman to feel, take a pride on that, not pride on the bad sense I'm saying, to feel happy about it, like how you have grown, how you are able to think this way, how you are able to be confident, how you are able to do these things. So that is one thing which I wanted to share through this photograph. These are our participation in expos. I love participating in expos to be part of expo because you can meet many types of people over there and lot of opportunities you can grab, the business opportunities you can grab during expo. So I've got a lot of experience, stories where I've concluded deals in the expos. This is one very important thing where I wanted to show that this was a contractor meet in Oman. 500 people were present in that area, contractors in Oman. It was the first time such a big gathering I'm exposed to. First, when I entered into the hall, I literally got into a shivering mode, like how am I going to talk to so big crowd? But then somehow I managed and we got a big entry into Oman market through this process. This is again training. This is in California where there's a company called TriTool. It's a new product line for on-site machining. So we were interested in introducing this product line into our company. And this is very much useful in oil and gas industry. So where without knowing the subject line, I will not be able to sell it in the market. So I personally went there to have an understanding of the performance of tooling. And then we brought into India as their distributors. Apart from the technicalities, apart from this thing, there is a life which we have to bring in the company as a leader. So there are a lot of concepts I introduced in the company where, you know, the first time managers bring managers from within, make managers from within. So that was a continuous training which I was trying to give, impart to my people. And there are a lot of inbound managers which I've generated in my organization. So that is one thing which as a point I wanted to share here. And the concept of life at ABS. We have a lot of fun-filled programs. Just one of it, I had the photograph, so I shared. It was an annual event, but we have a lot of fun-filled programs. Training, this is part of training. External trainer from US had come and given us a training. So continuous training. Every first and third Saturday is a training day in our organization. So that's how I made it. This is our, we have an office in Jamnagar and it's a full of technical area. So that family is very important for us. So we have a family day and we celebrate a lot of fun-filled events with them, and recognition and rewards are given to them during such annual occasions. My family time is very important for me. I'll never skip any of the important occasions of the family, and because family is the lifeline. And if one can consider family as the lifeline and they are doing it for the sake of the family, they'll do everything to make family happy and keep the family in the best of its state. So that is what is the driving factor for me, as a matter of fact, to maybe to drive me to what I am today also. So till my grandson, this is what just the family picture I just wanted to show. On the spiritual side, yes, I believe in God, and we have pujas continuously performing at office for every occasion. And I personally see to it that I sit and I do the puja. And taking again, it comes to say that taking initiative everywhere. Like you have to be involving into each and every nitty-gritties of things. And my people used to say how you are able to think in all the directions. I don't know how it is, but that is how I am, and which has made me or something is driving me. Like today this is coming, so you have to do this, you have to do that. So already pre-programmed in the mind, which helps me keep going. So these are few accomplishments by my team. They love me, I love them, and that is how the coordination. Many of the time, it's a eyeball movement which they will be able to understand and go ahead with the thing. That is what communication is all about. Effective communication is when you don't speak but still you are able to communicate, and that is possible with my team. Very wonderful team I've got, and again, it's a blessing that I've got very good people around me. Right from the beginning of my career to till date, I'm so lucky that everyone around me has been so nice with me, that I have never got a negative impact of anybody in my life. So from here, a domestic personality to that of a transformation into a leader. This is what is the story I just wanted to share. Thanks for your time, and I'm open to questions now.
Thank you, madam. Maybe you would like to close the screen so that Mr. Balraman would like to actually move into the questions.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. How do I? Yeah.
Shankar, can you please? Thank you. Thank you, madam. Very inspiring story. We have over 700 people watching this program from on various social media portals. We got a couple of questions. I will try and accommodate as many questions as possible in the next 10 minutes so that you can answer them. The first question which has come from Mr. Raghunath is, he said you have been started your early part of the career as accounts, then you worked in different things. Do you mean it made you a multi-skilling person because you didn't have any technical background, but you worked in as executive assistant to the ED and working? Did it really help you in your career when you went up the ladder to manage so many things because you had glimpse of the job of each of the areas?
First, I'm basically a commerce student, and I went into the commercial segment only in the initial part of my employment. But later on, after the sabbatical, when I got into which I had to accept at that point in time. But when I got into that role, then I saw to it that how am I going to mold myself suited to that role. So initially you won't get acceptance so easily. In none of your venture, the acceptance will come so easily. So how you will have to work a lot to understand the technicality. So particularly in case of Usha Martin, I will tell you an incident. I went up to COO. I wrote to him. I told him that I want a metallurgical understanding of the queries which is being raised by the customers. So he arranged for sales force related technical queries counseling session, and every quarter. So you have to take an initiative and come out, speak, and try to ask for. Then, if you ask for, definitely people are there to help out. And the senior metallurgist in the country at that point in time, Dr. Sudhanshu Chakravarti, he was put up as a mentor to teach us about the metallurgical aspects, which is required to understand our part of the work. I'm not saying that I'll be knowing everything, but at least to deliver the role which you have taken up, you will get the knowledge, required knowledge. So you have to ask for, and you have to be. And I'll tell you, in that also, they arranged for all the sales force. And at the end of the session, at the end of 1 year, my CEO asked me to submit. He wrote a mail to all of us to submit a project write up on what we learned. I sent a 60 pages notes on whatever we learned with incident by incident, and I was the only person who sent that, and which is there in a stable. It should be there in a stable even now, because every page he has written the remark of that, and he has appreciated, and he has sent. So it depends upon the way in which you take up things. So that's why I said it became a university for me. The working became a learning part for me. So I learned a lot during that period of time, which in the later part of my life, I was able to give a lot.
Thank you, madam. Mr. Ishwaran from Chennai, he wants to know, you mentioned the communication is a very key point for a good leader. How can a shy person be a leader? Can an introvert be a leader at all? Did you have any difficulty in these areas in communication when you really want to exceed and excel in communication that you were in there?
See, nobody can be a best example than me in this area, because I was the shyest person, very darpok, and if somebody talks to me little louder, I will start crying. That was the situation when I got married, when I was 21, I mean to say. But from there, how the transformation happened? Transformation happens when you focus on things rather than focus on self. You have to focus on the job. You have to focus on. When my mentor used to scold me, I had a very tough mentor in my life, that Mr. H.K. Singh, under whom I got to know about this entire span of my working in RK's. If you see, as an he was my boss, and I can't enter into his room if I do something wrong. That much is the terror like personality he is. But I have to manage that situation. I have to work. I have to know. Then I have to transform myself. The transformation happens. So necessity will make you change. If you feel the necessity, you will change.
Thank you. Here's a question from lady MBA student from MOP Vaishnav College. She says, some authors say leaders must divide their time into 3 parts. One for handling finance, another for quality, and the third for relationship. What do you think about it? And did you practice things in your career as a manager to be a leader?
Say it again, sir.
He says there are leaders divide their time into 3 areas, which is very important. One for handling the finances, which is very important. Another is for quality, and the third for relationship. Then what do you think about this observation? How much did you focus on? Which area you focused more for your success?
See, in my case, if I take it, I have done it as it comes. I have not earmarked any time for any particular thing. It doesn't go as per the calendar, because neither the business is calendar based nor the family is calendar based. Everything falls at a particular time. You should know how to manage time based on prioritization. The prioritization concept comes here as a very important and critical factor. 2 things come at a time: an important meeting or a closure of a deal, and your daughter's visit to your daughter's college for an admission. Now you have to choose between the 2, which one is more important for you at that particular point in time. You may have to lose one. You cannot have both in hands. It's not possible in the world. So prioritizing the importance of a particular thing based on that particular time is what is very important according to me. I feel. See, if you want to take a break and go and see to your daughter's wedding or a delivery or admission in the college, that is more priority than anything else. You have to put things at the back burner, the balance of the things. Your support system has to be made in such during that period of time. So that's how I manage.
Thank you, madam. Before one last question, before I request Mr. Balraman for the closing comments, this again from Mr. Bajaj from Nagpur. Say, what are the suggested steps which companies should take to equal out the ground and improve the representation of women in any given industry? As a woman leader, how much you could focus on empowering women in your organization?
In my organization, at one point in time before COVID, I'm talking about, most of the key roles were handled only by women. We are 2 directors, women, in the board, and that only one man, one man is there. And being an engineering organization, and he's the founder member, his wife and myself, we are 3 board of directors. And finance was handled by a woman. HR is still handled by a woman, and purchase is handled by a woman. So there are very many key areas which are being handled by women in the organization. I keep telling many of the people that priority to women in the organization. First of all, I think in the last episode also we were talking about it. A safe place is to be created at the first instance. A woman has to feel safe to work in that organization. And the basic infrastructure has to be set up in the organization. Hygiene should be there. Personal hygiene has to be taken utmost care. And there are certain roles women can do it with a jiffy. They are very good at it. Give those roles to those women. And that way, if you see, a large number of people will be in the women number.
Thank you. Thank you, Suman. Very inspiring insights. Now, may I request Mr. Balraman for your closing thoughts before we conclude the session, sir? Over to you, Mr. Balraman.
Yes. I think there is a question from Mr. Tangavel. As a woman leading an organization, what problems did you face?
See, if you see a problem as a problem, problem is always a problem. If you are able to find a solution to a problem, you're a leader.
Good. Well said, Srividhya. Srividhya, what are the plans for the next 5 to 10 years for ABS, and where do you fit in? And are you developing a successor?
It's a very, very important point which has started pondering into our mind. I'll first answer to your second part and then I'll take the first part because first part is easy. The second part is difficult because the successor program is a real tough one. And for the past 3 years, we are actually we took our one of the set of people on a outside program and for a 2-day and stay outside, and we had a management training and things like that. We wanted to inculcate people from within the organization as a first point, because they understand the people are there for 10, 12, 15 years, and therefore it becomes very easy for them to understand the culture of the organization and get into it very easily. But that is all said and done, that's not a very easy thing to do. It also requires expert people joining hands, because as we grow up and the volume game comes into the picture, it also requires a expert coming into and putting their knowledge into it. So this challenge is being addressed to. I hope we will very soon address this issue. As far as the growth part is concerned, my first mission is 100 crores, and that has to be achieved. Silver Jubilee year is fast approaching. We started this organization in 1998, and by next 2 years, we are reaching our silver jubilee year. At least by that time, will be a 100 crore company. That's the first mission I'm having and working towards that. And later on, we'll have to see. We'll have to add up more products, and we are now focused into manufacturing as part of Atmanirbhar, and we have got into indigenization also of many of the engineering tools. So that is one of the another vertical will be soon coming up with. These are the programs in place.
Sorry, I missed that. Which vertical is coming?
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing what?
The tools, engineering tools, the bolting tools.
Okay.
We want to be in the same segment, identify ourselves as the bolting experts. So
I see. Okay.
whatever the imports are taking place, wherever possible, we want to do an indigenization and go with the Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Okay. Now, Srividhya, as you know, as I mentioned right in the beginning, this Women Business Forum is to inspire a lot more women to enter the career path as well as the startup path. Okay. Your career is most interesting because you are into engineering, which is not normally a career that a woman would choose. So you are a rare one, and you are an excellent example. If we do want some people to be mentored, would you be willing to give some time? Is that possible? I know you are a very busy individual. Very unfair to ask you this.
So definitely, sir. It's my privilege, and I mean, I would definitely do that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Srividhya, it's a very inspirational story of your. This is probably what 30 years that you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
30 years, yeah, a very inspirational story. And you had learned by jumping in and getting hurt, getting injured, and then recover. You know that they talk of resilience being a very important aspect for growth. And you live that, young lady, and I'm most pleased to have hosted your interview today. And may I, on behalf of MMA, wish you all the best and a great future. And there is someone saying, excellent experience from Srividhya, madam. Thanks a lot. Okay, I agree with him.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for MMA to giving me this opportunity to share my story. And if it could be inspirational for a few of you, and if you can gather something out of this, and if that could be of use for making somebody else's career, I would be really happy for having shared my story here. And thanks, Balraman sir, for choosing me to talk here. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the patient listening.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Mr. Balraman. As a token of appreciation, since the distance and Corona separates us, on behalf of the members of MMA and the president of MMA and Mr. Balraman, we would like to present you under face mask on your behalf due to the needy, privileged people who really need them. And this is what we could do it during this time. I think our team go around and do that. And on your behalf, we would like to do that. And we keep doing this so that we picked up quite a number of masks which we go and give it to them. Thank you for things. Thank you for joining us in spite of your busy commitment, sharing your inspiring story. I know large number of women would have really immensely benefited, as Mr. Balraman said. And Mr. Balraman's grandson also very inspired. Looks like he's just joined us this evening. Hi. Thank you. Thanks to each one of you. And you all in Chennai or any part of India, wherever you are there, please stay safe, stay healthy. And not only physical health, we also want you to be mentally healthy. That's the reason we bring you some outstanding talks and evening lectures for your benefit. Do watch them, and this is a time we all to be together and show empathy. Whoever needs whatever help, we request you to do that. And you need any help, please do keep in touch with us. We'll be more than happy to support you. Thanks so much, and bye-bye, and good night till we meet again. Good night. Thank you, Mr. Balraman and Srividhya.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.